Don't buy a Grom or MSX until you've heard our facts. Pew pew pew!
We'll point you to the main difference. The first difference, the striking difference, is that obviously the headlights are LED versus halogen, which I don't think it really makes a difference riding along. Mine doesn't seem any brighter than yours.
I think yours is way brighter than mine.
They're pretty, like if you're out on a country road, it moves so much, it's so hard to see where you're going because it's a direct bit of light, and if the handlebars are doing this or you're moving around bumps, it just goes all over the place, the beam of light. And I would say that's probably similar with yours as well.
That headlight is useless. Very, very bad at night. It's to be seen and not to see with, I believe. It doesn't really shine anything, it's rubbish. The whole styling of this bike is different to that bike, so fairings, seat, rear sets, pretty much everything.
Mudguard.
Yeah, the mudguard, everything's different. I don't think you can take one piece of plastic off this bike and put it onto this bike.
Tanks are different, the tank filler caps are different, all the styling bits different. One of the other differences that they actually added to this bike was ABS, but only on the front. So you buy the SF ABS or you buy just the SF, and yeah, it only comes on the front. But whether for commuting, if you're using it all year round and through the city, it's probably pretty decent to have. If it's wet, they probably put the ABS on because the tyres they give you as stock are so bad, they're like, you're gonna need that.
Just so you know, these are made from 100% plastic. You'll know if you've got an ABS because the internal part of the disc here will have like a separated piece of metal with a load of like cuts in it, and that's for your sensor to pick up so it knows when your front wheel's skidding, it knows when to apply the ABS. The next possibly biggest difference with these two is the forks. If you've been on any of the forums, any websites, any reviews, everyone will say the front suspension on the SF and the OG is poo. They just bottom out so easily. But a clever person came up with a modification for these, and it's called the ND4S mod. And what it does is this bolt in here, the Allen head bolt.
What's that called again, Jamie?
The ND4S. So yeah, the fork travel's not huge. I think it was about 3.9 inch of travel on the front. So you can see where mine's been going to now. I've gained about an inch, which we could all do with. And yeah, so it's basically just a little spacer. And you remove this top cap, remove that bolt, put the new bolt and spacer in here with the seals, and bolt it all back together. But I've also increased the forecoil weight, which I think is a 10 weight from standard. I put a 30 weight in, and that has massively improved it. We do a bit of green laning, we do terrible wheelies, and we do little jumps and stuff, so it's managing with all that. Sean hasn't really got that option with his. I think they made some improvements, but the only options for yours is to buy stiffer springs.
Which is obviously way more than just swapping. How long would that take to do on its own, that mod, without the oil?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, without the oil, to just take that out, put the new bits in, and instantly you've got an inch more travel.
That about wraps up the differences, but leads us on to the frequently asked questions for people who are looking to buy a Grom.
It is quite a common question that people go on and they're like, gonna get a Grom, should I get OG, should I get SF?
Second question most people ask is usually from people who are above 5'10" and up, so 6 foot, around that area, and people who are heavier than the average person. Now, I'm around just about 6 foot tall, so from Sean's camera point of view, that's how tall it is against me. And obviously when I'm sat on it, like everybody's seen in the videos already, this is about how big it looks to me.
It's kind of like a BMX, handlebars wise, and maybe taller than a BMX.
And I think this next one's probably the most popular. How fast do they go?
Top speed.
What is the top speed on a Grom? That depends entirely on your gearing.
And wind, hill, lightness of rider.
And how aerodynamic you can make yourself when you tuck in, like you're in the British Superbike Championship, so you've got to be like this.
Yeah.
Head down, elbows in, knees in.
The top speed is then determined by when the rev limiter kicks in 4th gear.
We've had them on the limiter at 80 mile an hour.
80 mile an hour, and then it comes in and it goes boof, 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 boof.
And that was a pretty decent hill.
So, unless you can top us, did you beat 80 mile an hour?
On a flat road, generally, just riding, depending on your gearing, mine shows up around, I can hit 70 mile an hour. 65 to 70 mile an hour is about your top speed you're going to get out of a Grom. Depending on your gearing, your aerodynamics, your weight, lots of factors, but I'd say 65 is a safe speed to say you can achieve on a Grom.
Next frequently asked question is
miles per gallon.
Loads. That's all you need to know. More than you'll get on any other bike.
I know the fact. Honda, on their specification, say that these will do 134 miles per gallon.
That's incredible.
So yeah, not that it's massively important, because you're not going to be going out and smashing miles. Well, again, I'm going to be proved wrong, because Jazz has done 14,000 miles in 1 year on his Grom.
Yeah, he's done a few. That's a lot, actually.
Okay.
So that's the rundown. Thanks for watching the video. Anything you want to add to the frequently asked questions, or questions that you can answer that you think we missed, obviously leave it down below, which is always helpful because we would like to know if there was any other differences as well. That would be good. Let us know what you think. If you want to help the channel out, share the video. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.